Hi, welcome friends. I'm Sarah Trapani and I appreciate you choosing this yoga channel. We're taking a deep hip stretch today for when you only have a little bit of time. So let's get going. Grab our mat and start to come into a child's pose with your knees a little bit wide. And if you want to just kind of rock forward and back a couple times before finding that child's pose, you might be able to get into it a little easier. So you just kind of take a few rocks forward and back, feeling your hands connecting to the earth, and then nestle your hips back, coming into child's pose, finding that length from the pinkies all the way to the hip creases, and letting your tailbone drop. You can wag your tail a little bit, loosening up your lower back. Take a moment to check in with how you feel as you arrive in your practice today. Give yourself permission to be here and consider your intention for practice. What do you want to cultivate in this time on your mat? Let that help guide your effort. And we'll start to inhale, wave forward. Bring your knees together. Your elbows are soft. Let your hips sink forward and down. And lift your heart. And then go ahead and press back into child's pose again. And then we're going to come forward into tabletop. Walk your knees forward. Swing your ankles around. And then bring your feet around. Take your fingertips back behind you. Step your feet mat width distance apart. And we'll start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side, loosening up the hips. So before we get into some deeper stretches, we'll just windshield wiper and get the blood flowing a little bit. Breathing through the nose. And as we come back to center, bring your soles of feet together, let your knees splay open, and use your elbows to gently press on those inner knees as you spread your chest forward and come into that bound angle pose. And you breathe there for a moment, feeling those thigh bones gather into the hips, and you may be able to cup your hands around your toes or walk your hands forward more and breathe through the back body. Walk your hands over to the right a little bit. Look at your right hip. Feel that left sitting bone touch. Then walk your hands back to center. Walk your hands to the left. Let that right sitting bone touch. Walk your hands back to center and just kind of move in and out a little bit, lifting your chest and then folding down. Good. A couple times, just lifting your chest. You can inhale. And then exhale, fold down. And then come on up, bring your feet to the floor, hip width distance. We're gonna slide that left heel out, and we're gonna lift that right foot. Take your hands on the sole of the right foot and lift your heel. And then take your right foot right in the elbow crease of your left elbow, interlace your hands in front, and then rock the baby. Left toes are pointing straight up. If you can't do this, you can just have a hand on the outer foot and a hand on the outer knee and rock like that. But if you can get that foot and step it right on that kind of inner left bicep, and that right inner knee is pressing away. It's this kind of figure four. Rock the baby. Good. Breathing there. And then we're going to release that right ankle on top of the left thigh into that figure four shape and just lean forward, right foot very flexed. And then come on up. Extend your right heel out so we have a V shape. It's not a huge V, but it's about a mat width distance V. We're going to reach for the big toes or the feet or ankles and fold. Chin toward chest. And then come ahead and sit up. We're going to take that left foot onto the ground and then hands around the sole of the left foot. Start to lift the left heel. And then take that same step of that left foot on the right bicep. Interlace the hands in front of that outer kind of left shin area and rock. Good. Rocking. Again, if that's not available, you can have a hand on the foot and the knee and just see how that feels. If rocking doesn't feel good, you could just stay stationary. Sit up tall. Then release that left ankle right on top of the right thigh and just fold forward in that kind of figure four shape. Inner thigh is moving toward the ground. And then uncross, open your heels to a little half of a V, so it's like the heels are about mat width distance, and then fold. Take a couple moments to breathe in that wide-legged fold, just evening out your back, and then we'll sit on up. So we're going to bring that right ankle forward and slide that left leg straight back, coming into a pigeon shape. So the right knee is a little wider than the hip, the right foot is flexed, the left hip point is rolling down, and we're gonna come down into our pigeon pose. So you can be here with the left hip point dropping a little more. Make sure to rest your forehead on your thumbs on a block or eventually the floor as we take a couple breaths in this deep hip opening pigeon. In pigeon pose, you relax your jaw, your eyes, and you be in this position for a couple of rounds of breath. We don't want to have any pain in that right knee. We want to allow the breath to flow smoothly through the nose. Inhales bring light to tension. Exhales move you into the pose a little bit more. Eventually, forehead could come to the ground or blocks. Then pressing through the top of that left foot, gather your belly and walk yourself back up onto your hands. Lift your heart, look up. Inhale. Exhale, shift over into that outer right thigh, slide that left leg around, and then uncross both feet. Take your feet on the ground, mat width distance. Take a couple of windshield wipers. And then and then we're going to come into a pigeon on the other side. So we're going to flex that left ankle, bring the left knee a little wider than the hip, then slide that right leg straight back. And we really want to roll that right hip point forward and down. You can always peek back and check that that top of the right foot and the baby toe side of the foot is aligned with the outer right knee and the outer right hip. And then gradually make your way down. And you rest your third eye center on your fingers or on a block. And we stay finding that pigeon pose. Left hip point dropping. Left sitting bone gliding downward toward the floor. You're able to breathe. Letting that full exhale empty out. Staying and lingering to notice whatever there is to notice. And remembering your intention. And we'll start to drop the tail, gather the belly, walk yourself up onto fingertips, lift your heart, look up. Inhale, and when you exhale, roll to the outer left thigh, slide that right leg around, fingertips point away from your heels. Windshield wiper a couple times. Good. Nice. Let a nice exhale out your mouth. And then we're going to inch forward toward the front of your mat. Let's bring the soles of feet together again. And then reach your arms forward and come down onto your back into recline bound angle. We're going to sweep the arms overhead, stretch long toes to fingers. Big full inhale. Exhale, drawing your knees in, give a hug. Give yourself a little squeeze. Rock side to side. And then take a full happy baby pose. Soles of feet face the sky. Nice way to even out your hips. Wringing out your lower back. Balancing out your back. And then release. Bring your feet mat width distance apart. Let your knees knock into touch. Rest your hands on your belly. And take a few moments to find your constructive rest pose. It can feel good to really press the feet down and forward a little bit, so you almost create this kind of rocking action in the upper body. And then find a place to rest and stay for a couple moments. Imagining a lot of light and space flowing through your hips and lower back. Cultivating a sense of contentment with right now, with whatever is. And can you find gratitude for anything at all that you have to be grateful for? letting gratitude change and uplift your spirit and your mood and your energy field. Start to windshield wiper the knees side to side, wringing out the hips and lower back, pausing anywhere that feels good. And then gradually, when you're ready, you can roll onto either side and mindfully press up to sit. Arriving up again in a tall seat, lifting through the crown of the head, bringing your hands to heart center, thanking yourself for showing up on the mat today. And I wish you joy, peace, health, strength, courage, and trust on the journey. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you for practicing with me. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that super thanks button if you're enjoying my practices. It brings me a lot of joy, and it brings me so much joy to have you here. And thank you for selecting this channel when there's so much other yoga content out there. It means a lot. Please drop me a comment. I always reply to the comments. Keep it nice, keep it respectful, and yoga oriented, please. Okay, look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.